Going live.
Happy Friday, Niagara Graffiti.
Hell yeah. Another week in the tubes.
All right, who's got their phone on?
My phone's on.
I am such a jackass. That would be me.
All in favor of Shawn being the jackass? Say aye.
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 Jackass number one.
Thank you for
Motion
joining us
carried.
for another, on this wonderful Friday, September 3rd.
Beautiful
For another
outside.
episode of Niagara Graffiti with Shawn and Tim. I am obviously Shawn Levick, and my good buddy Tim is back from his little adventure.
From the excursion.
What's going on over there, bud?
Sunburn, buddy. I'm still
Sunburn.
peeling. That's what happens when you drive a convertible in 95-degree
Listen.
weather, baking for
That-
8.5 hours.
That is
no
barely
sunscreen.
a car. We rode here in it today. Listen, Tim's leg was gently caressing my leg the entire
Oh,
time.
that wasn't my leg.
It's a really nice car, Tim. It's a really nice car. How is everything going with the baby?
Baby's doing good. She's a monster. She's huge.
Mm.
She 10 pounds, 11 and a half ounces.
Oh my goodness.
She didn't have a C-section.
Jesus Christ.
And
That's not a baby.
it was a toddler. She
That's a teenager.
Yeah.
Very healthy baby.
Yes.
She is very. That's my one thing I'm thankful for. Mother and baby are very healthy. I told my son that he's going to have to invest in a bigger yard because that girl's going to need to graze outside eventually, and they're going to need a feeder.
Yeah.
But she is big, healthy. She is number 5 for me. I have 3 granddaughters, 1 grandson amongst us, and then I have 1 grandson that didn't make it after 5 weeks. So we're celebrating a nice, large. I'm still young, so but we'll say a young family, and my kids are all happy. I'm happy.
He said he was young.
I am.
The devil is a lie. But how's the mama?
Mama is good. She said she's strongly debating whether she wants to have another one. I think she learned her. She's a bit younger. She's 20 years old.
Okay.
So this was her first child, and I have some pictures I could share with you off the air of her at 7 weeks pregnant and her at 40 weeks pregnant. And
I seen the picture you posted at the restaurant where she looked absolutely pissed that baby was not coming out.
But she was actually a week overdue. I drove down to Jacksonville. That was my first week when I was gone. And I was down there the week she was due, and she wasn't ready to grace the world with her appearance. So I had to leave on Sunday because I had a prayer engagement on Monday in Atlantic City. But I was there in spirit.
You had a prayer engagement?
That's what I heard.
Prior.
Prior. He said a prayer engagement.
I just got done saying the devil was a lie, and nobody heard that. They heard prayer.
No,
Niagara Falls is not hopeless because everybody in here besides me heard prayer.
I had a prior engagement for an educational conference for the Steelworkers Union, so I had to go down for that. But they did call, and I was on a live video with my son shortly after she came out, and he put the camera on her when she was laying in the little warming table, and holy smokes, did that girl fill up the table? They put her in a newborn diaper, and it was a bit snug.
This is the baby of the son that's a Marine, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, that's why that baby came out so
Oh,
big. That baby
Very
came
strong
out
baby.
Well,
10
though,
pounds of America,
That's
buddy.
right.
That's what that was.
But his first son, my grandson, was 5 years old now, and when he was born, he was actually early. He was just over 5 pounds when he was born, as was my son when he was born. But Timothy the third came out a little early, but he was another one, very strong, very healthy.
Well, Timothy the third was a boy, and this one was a girl, and we already know that women are stubborn.
Listen,
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
That's what I told my son. I said, you got your hands full now because your house is being overrun by estrogen.
she
So
came out ready to go.
Yes,
Oh,
ready to fight.
her face, she looks like a Cabbage Patch doll, literally.
Oh, that's
She's-
awesome.
She's very, very.
What did they name this
rotund.
baby?
Her name is Paisley Jo
how
Heater.
fun.
And she was born at 11:11 p.m. They took her to the hospital at 6:30 in the morning. They started her inducing medication. They had induced her. They started the inducing medication like 10 o'clock. 1 o'clock, they broke her water. 2 o'clock, she requested an epidural, which she was going to try and do without. But
It's really funny how women go in there and they're like, I don't want no drugs. I want it to be natural. And then like part of the way through, you're like, drugs.
no. But
Somebody find me heroin, damn it.
the mother's name is Tasha, and Tasha did very well. She was also very healthy, so it was an experience that When I was there the week before, she was craving slushies. We had to go to gas stations and slushies and ice cream and
I had a lot of slushies when I was pregnant too. That's a thing.
Hey, I'm not pregnant and I don't like slushies.
Slushies are delicious.
I have a slushy. We have a slushy machine at home. I don't really make them.
But,
the
yes.
kids ask for them a lot. It's great that they ask for them, but no.
And the little beast was it was a little unhappy. I think a couple of times we had to do.
Oh, we're talking about the car.
Yes.
Okay. Except the little beast wasn't unhappy.
Thinking the baby was.
The little beast
I was like, damn.
The little beast was a little temperamental. For a car that I just put an engine in 2 weeks prior, and I had a little over 2,000 miles on it, and the only real problem it gave me was coming home from Atlantic City on Friday. We were in stop and go traffic in Philadelphia, and transmission line, 29-year-old rubber hose, decided to let go. And
No, it was definitely Philadelphia.
yeah, I think so. But I spent 4 hours on the side of the road waiting for AAA, who didn't show. So thankfully, my buddy Jason Whitmer from the city of Niagara Falls, he was at the educational conference. I rented a U-Haul trailer, and Mr. Whitmer was kind enough to pull that trailer with his big Dodge truck.
Mr. Whitmer is an awesome man.
And we made it home at about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you messaged me. I'm glad that you did because I was actually awake writing down stuff for this today.
Yeah. But it was an experience, and of course I fixed the car up. Obviously, we drove it here today, and it's 29-year-old cars. You're going to have some little things like that. Part of it was my fault because I didn't drive it around the City Hall a lot.
Did really good.
It's still doing good.
Speaking of City Hall lot, we wanted to run through the mayor's update today because there was a few focal points on that we wanted to touch on.
Yeah, you got that video,
Yeah, I'm
Peter?
going to get it lined up. By the way, Tim, Ohio Barb says
see
that it's
this.
time to wear sunscreen.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
is
after-
Grim there, though? That's what we need to know. Does she have Grim? Oh, yep, Barb and Grim.
There's Graham.
All
And right after we watch this clip, we're going to go ahead and introduce Miss Ligammari.
And I'll have you know, Shawn can verify there is sunscreen in the glove box now. I did show him. When
Yeah,
we
that
got
car
out.
definitely came with sunscreen and
We will
tampons.
not make that mistake again.
I don't know why he opened it up and it just fell out, and I was like, you know,
Some
that
would
is the
say
coolest
that's
party popper I've
very
ever seen.
Convenient.
It's a small car.
It's very convenient.
I like it. You know, I think one of the mothers of my children would absolutely love it, but
There's no room for baby seats.
Well, you never know when
No.
you need sunscreen or tampons.
Two-seater.
true.
Here we go. Let's see what the mayor's got to say.
Again, I'd like to come to you and speak with you about some of the things that that have happened over this week, what you can expect in the week to come. On the one hand, top of the news today would be some of the violence that's been out in our community and in other communities.
Doesn't he look like he's going to be fun to work
across the
with?
county in Western New
He's
York.
going to love working with me.
We all suffer from a sense
Dementia.
of an overwhelming sense that
He looks like
violence,
Trump and Biden's love child.
and I certainly suffer along with the rest of the community. If I knew that there was an immediate way to end the violence, we certainly would have deployed that. I have great confidence in our police administration, as well as the men and women in our police department, that they're doing all they can.
Am I hearing sirens in the
stay
video?
ahead of and attempt to
Outside.
solve
It's outside.
some
That
of
was
the
creepy.
problems that are out in the community. And we also look obviously to the community's assistance in helping us head off some of these things, some of these incidences. I had the pleasure of sitting at a meeting with Senator Robert Ort and Assembly Member Angelo Morinello, our state representatives.
Pause it right there, Peter.
We spoke specifically.
Okay. Yesterday they had a meeting with the mayor, with Senator Robert Ort, with New York State Assemblyman Angelo Morinello, with Superintendent John Faso and his deputy supervisor, and Mike Filicetti was all there.
Yes.
Now, I really think that was needed a long time ago. That kind of communication, and don't get me wrong, I really, really would like to see them do it again real soon
Hey, Kevin. Welcome.
with Higgins, and even their counterparts in the Democratic Party.
all
because this isn't-
parties in this area need to get their heads together.
Yeah, and that audio last night, and I think that we have Peter clipped it, and we'll play that after this. That audio last night was absolutely chaotic.
It was mayhem.
I mean, it was calling all cars, calling all fire trucks, ambulances left and right, and
Well, how many ambulances did they actually use? 3, 4 of them?
3.
Because I know one person was transported by personal vehicle.
The very first person that got hit actually took themselves there.
Right.
3 people got hit on 19th and Welch.
One person took off running when the police showed up.
One took off running when the police showed up and made
must
it
have
over
been a
to
second
East
one.
Falls. And the one that made it to East Falls is the one that they ended up arresting because he had, what do you have, a 45?
He
It was
had a
like,
gun, yes.
Yeah, it looked like a 45 or a 9.
I just wonder if that was
Something tells me, and
acquired.
I don't want to be quick to be judgmental, but them guns aren't just coming here in Cracker Jack boxes.
No.
No, for sure.
Okay, so that's going to be their main task is figuring out.
Well, they're tracing the guns because I know that they had recovered one from a crime before, from a shooting before.
Yeah.
And they had tracked it back to someplace in Ohio.
A lot of
of
our
course,
guns, I think,
Ohio.
are coming from Ohio.
Well,
Where they have
no.
laxer gun laws.
Well, somebody that grew up in Ohio. Hey, how you doing? I do know that some of their laws they're working on cranking down, but
Yeah.
they're not overreaching like New York State.
Well,
They're not overstepping their
Here's the big
constitutional
problem
rights.
with it, and everybody says, well, they're flooding in from states that have lower restrictions. The problem is, to me, and I'm saying this because it only makes sense to me. New York's restrictions are too strict.
New York's restrictions are not working.
No, they're not. And
They're not stopping the illegal guns. They're only making legal, responsible gun owners a lot harder to get a gun and discouraging a lot of people.
Or even the ones that really haven't. When you start looking at the red flag laws, that's serious. But they keep going, or he keeps going on about a plan of action. Go ahead, Peter.
Oh, that beautiful bean footage.
Whenever you're ready. I love Peter.
Yesterday, about how some of the reforms have impacted law enforcement on the ground. And admittedly, those aren't going to be solutions that are going to come in another 2 hours. But ultimately, I think all of us in government, all of us in the community need to start raising our voices to have state government review the reforms that have been put in place, some of which were absolutely necessary, absolutely required, others of which we need to take a look at to see whether or not they should be further thought out. Perhaps there's more to the issue than what was initially thought.
Now hold that for a second right there, Peter.
We're certainly
They want to talk about it now. They want to revisit this now. This has been an issue with New York State for many, many years now. SAFE Act passed in the middle of the night. We've got other laws that they go through, and they're in a rush to get these through because our former governor, as big a douche as he was, had to be a leader, had to be the first to do everything. Yeah. And as we've seen, the first to do something is usually the worst to do something because they screw it up, they hastily push it through without going through all the possibilities and thinking it through all the way. They're in such a rush to get it through. And this is another example.
Yeah.
This bail reform crap
anything
is
done in
ridiculous.
Anything done in haste is done incorrectly because there's not enough thought behind it. You're not going to people that are professionals.
Did they say specifically what they're looking to review? What reforms? Are they talking specifically
They're talking about
bail
catch
reform?
and release.
Well,
They're talking about catch and release, appearance
bail
tickets.
reform.
That, and what was the one thing that we were talking about with Janelle where they raised the age?
Oh, the minors being charged as minors
Minors.
rather than the 16, 17-year-olds being charged as minors.
That was another thing that they were going over. And somebody made a point earlier. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name because I'm going to totally butcher it. But she deals with the housing authority. And she made a very valid point. She said these issues aren't coming from the lack of community centers. These issues aren't coming
That's
from...
Samika.
Yeah,
Samika Sullivan.
Yes, that's
She's
her.
Brilliantly smart. She's very active in this community.
I see her all the time, and she's
everywhere.
always got very incredible stuff to
Absolutely.
say. Very
So,
insightful.
When she speaks, we should listen. It's important.
But I brought up a point to her that is basically cause and effect. Okay, what we're seeing a lot of. First of all, there was a lot of acid done in the '60s. A lot of acid. Okay.
I take the fifth.
You would, Peter.
Parents' generation.
You roll that into the crack generation and then to the opioid. It's scientifically proven that the frontal cortex is not fully developed until you're 25 years old. So what has been the decline of emotional and logical thought process over that time? Is that what we're seeing? Is mental health based on
We're now seeing the
cause and
results
effect?
of those flower power babies.
Yeah. So
Those damn Volkswagens.
in a lot of ways, I think that a lot of answers do lie in dealing with. Obviously, cashless bail's got to go. That shit doesn't work. Okay. I don't know about the raise the age law. I don't really.
You can't paint this with a broad brush.
No, you can't. It's individually based issue.
When you start taking punishments off the table that need to be there because you say, you can't do that because they're a kid. You know something? If those kids know they're not going to get thrown in prison for 20 years,
they're going to do it anyway.
There's no deterrence for them.
Well,
they're going to keep going.
Also, like we were talking about with Janelle, how many of them are being muled? How many of them are being put into a position where they're asked to do something by somebody of older influence to them, and they do it thinking, well, shit, I'm not going to go to jail anyways.
Yeah, right.
You know,
They're just going to give me a slap on the
a
wrist.
pop on the wrist, and they'll
I'm
take me back home.
Do we
All right.
know if the new discovery law is also up for discussion?
Yes.
Yes,
That
that's
was part
another
of
one.
that was part of
That's
everything
a
that was talked
newer.
about.
That was 2019, I think that went through.
Yeah,
Right?
well, that went through in 2019. I believe the cashless bail went through in January 1st, 2020.
Yes.
The very first day of it, and I believe the Raise the Age Act went in 2017.
17 or 18, I'm not sure.
It was.
New discovery did 2017.
I think that was 2018 or 2019.
Felt like that was 2019. Okay.
All right, let's.
Yeah, I think that was 2019 in the
That
Raise
was
the Age law, where
2017.
they're not charging until there's a certain age, and went in 2017.
Let's get this on going, Peter, here, because we
Yes.
we want to roll through because we got to introduce our secret guest over here that's chiming in, and we haven't properly introduced.
Yeah,
Talk a lot.
I'm doing a
Sorry.
terrible job.
That's
of it.
okay.
I talked
Okay, Peter, let her roll, buddy.
Going to, in city government, going to continue to push for that kind of review. We also continue to provide opportunities to collaborate with other law enforcement agencies at the federal, state, and local level. And we continue to bring additional resources into the community. I am exceptionally grateful to the hard work of the superintendent and the deputy superintendent of police on reaching out to these other law enforcement agencies and getting their assistance so that to the extent we need additional personnel, they're providing it as they are able. But again, I am asking that those of us in the community who have information that might be able to assist law enforcement, some of the ways that we can do our city well is to help police.
See something, say something.
Gather information and help them help make our community safer. Just a reminder that Monday is Labor Day. And
Monday is Labor
City
Day.
Hall will be
Yes, it
closed
is.
for business
I forgot.
on Monday.
Actually
We'll be
did.
open again at 8 a.m. on
As soon as you said that, I was like, oh shit, it is.
7th. With the coming of Labor Day is also the return to school. Schools will again be back.
Bye,
in
kids.
session.
I don't know, I'm waving. It's on that screen. Bye, badass kids. I'm just kidding. I love you, children. Be safe at school.
One is that we will, students and staff will all be required to wear masks.
Okay, hold that right there,
The
Peter.
fact that teachers and staff will need
Peter.
to be vaccinated or tested out.
Wizard of Ox.
Or tested out on a
He can't hear
daily
you.
basis.
Oh, he's got his.
All of that information mandated by the state of New York. All of
We'll
that
make a note.
information translated into.
Give me a pause there for a minute, Peter.
There he goes.
They're talking about the wearing of masks. Now, why are we making these kids and teachers wear masks if they're vaccinated?
Well, because the vaccination has variants, and it's still affecting people. 60% of new hospitalizations are vaccinated people.
Okay, so we're gonna go
but
get your
here-
vaccination. They want to push you to get the vaccination, but then they're still going to make you wear the mask.
Here, it goes back to my comment that I always make by Rosabeth Moss Cantor. When you force people to do something, they're going to take it as an act of aggression.
Yes.
When you allow people to do change on their own, they take it as an act of liberation.
Yes.
Now, in all reality, if you tell people, listen, we're not going to have a mask mandate, but we guarantee you, which it is, if you're wearing a mask in an enclosed area, a proper mask in an enclosed area, it is better for you. That is factual. But it should be left up to the individual.
It should
You
be
know,
up
and
to those parents to choose.
I understand both sides of the argument because I try to be really, really sympathetic with hypochondriacs, first of all.
That's me.
And that's a lot of people. I know my cousin who's does the pictures for me, the one that painted the Tesla and the Marilyn Monroe picture for me. And my older cousin, they're absolute germaphobes.
I was really excited. I didn't get a sinus infection last year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the every 2-year norovirus, that stomach bug. I didn't get any of that, and I was so happy.
Okay, Peter, roll her back up there. I just had to ask if you're vaccinated, why you got to wear a mask.
That's a
But
lot
go
of-
ahead.
it's a lot of
Let's let her
Gs.
rip.
Hang on, are we back to the mayor?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
back
Go
to
back to
the
the mayor, please.
back to Donald Biden.
Play.
Come on. There we
Board
go.
of Education and the superintendent have
I gotta
developed
stay
and published out there. So please be on the lookout either at school websites to the extent that we
That'll
have
be fun.
information, we'll publish
We got
it,
Mark coming on.
as well, so that
Love it.
residents are aware. But as we start school again, please remember we all need to continue to be mindful of the fact that the virus hasn't left us yet. It's still here.
Oh, here we go.
We just need to be
It's always here.
continually vigilant. It's
gonna be here forever.
Life is a virus, people.
Last year, as we tried to flatten the curve and get ahead of this, we now have a solution. The solution is the vaccine. For
Not a
those
solution.
Who are not vaccinated, I would urge you to reconsider, and if in fact you're looking for a vaccination location, our hospitals, our community health centers, all of which are available for you to receive a vaccine at no charge. While other things are happening throughout the city, road work continues
Yes.
to occur.
16th.
Street is done.
16th, tomorrow.
16th Street, and that phase of the 16th Street development
Mine's done too.
should be completed by this
Thankfully.
coming Thursday. Finally,
Here we go.
continue to push
Tim wanted this
for
part.
improvements in our community. One of the improvements that we are looking to advance is a federally approved program for repair of sewer laterals to homeowners,
Yes.
low and middle income, moderate income homeowners. The expense for repairing a sewer lateral can be devastating to some in terms of where they are at in terms of their income level. And this program
right.
will allow us to improve.
I've heard enough of this joke.
No, not yet, not yet,
Not
not
yet?
yet. Let it go.
Like,
Oh,
Let it
this
go.
is painful.
No,
It
let it
is.
go, let it go, let it go. The best part's coming up.
He's waiting for him to say something in
The best
particular
part's
so he can
coming up. Play it.
scream.
Roll it, Peter.
If they're eligible, as well as allow us that.
His head's gonna pop like a
to also
warhead.
Pave a street and not have to worry about difficulties as you travel across.
I know
the
what you're waiting
streets,
for.
From those items. Unfortunately, the city council has not yet embraced the same idea. I
Bingo.
There we go. Go ahead
All
and
right.
stop her.
You're going to stop that
let the
thing
city
right there.
council know how important
And go ahead and put it on
They-
Tim because he's got something he'd like to say about it.
Now, the mayor is putting this off on city council. They want you to call your council members and tell them that you want them to vote for this and support this. This is what was on the city's agenda, on the city's website. I don't know if you can read this or not. But
Definitely can't read that.
there's really basically a whole lot of no information whatsoever. And some of the city council members had some questions. I myself had some questions. And at Wednesday's council meeting, who was there to answer questions? City
was
council
there.
had questions. Citizens had questions. But there was nobody there to answer questions. The mayor was no show. The city administrator was a no show. There was no administrative update. I'm just wondering. I pray that everything was okay with them, but I'm just kind of curious as to what was more important than a city council meeting for
Well,
the city's top two executives in the city, that
the
they couldn't
last
be there to
time-
answer questions, and then to throw the damn city council under the bus and say, well, they're not on board with it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if we had some information and we could get some questions answered, I don't think they would have had a problem approving it, which they don't usually have a problem approving most things that hit that agenda.
Well,
but
my
that
question
was
is-
not voted on. That was not turned down. And you can't say that the city council's not on board because they tabled the damn thing. If they weren't on board, they would have all
They
voted
put it
no,
down, yep.
and it would have been gone.
My question is this, though, because and I've asked several, we've asked several other council members. We asked John and we asked Kenny, and I honestly wonder how transparent everything is being put out right
Yeah,
now.
well, there's a lot of lack of transparency, and that's part of the issue around
But-
here. But let's get off of this
I
because this
digress.
has got my blood
Yes.
pressure high. Let's do a proper introduction here. We've got
Look at him, he looks like a damn tomato.
we have got council candidate Miss Colin Ligammari.
Hi.
She is running this year as one of the three vacant seats. Peter, get a view on
Do
me
I have
here.
her name spelled right?
It's a lot
no,
of
one
G's,
G.
Peter.
That's what I was going to tell
I
you.
need
One G,
another
two
M
M's.
and one less
One
G.
G, two M's. That's what I was gonna. I'm gonna put the.
right.
I have
Take that
her.
back.
Let me do that. You guys focus on getting her on the air.
and
Okay.
I have her.
Have I
Her
not been?
information here. Give me a shot, Peter. see if we could get
It's
this
going
up
to be
here.
backwards, I think.
It is.
My
Is it?
dad took that
No,
picture in
it's-
like the 80s.
It's right
That's a
ways.
wonderful picture.
Oh, there it is.
It's kind of hard to
A little
see.
blurry.
We actually have a clip for that. I
There it
believe.
is. There we got a good shot. This is her phone number.
That's my Google number, and I got that on purpose because some of our older residents still don't have a long distance plan.
We have her
Incredible.
her
Old
email
people not
address
being
and
ready with
her
landlines?
I
Jesus,
know,
what's
they
going
still have
on here?
landlines.
her
and everything.
email address, her phone number's
I have
on
a
there.
landline.
And if anybody would like to contact her after the show, or I'm sure she answers her phone whenever it rings,
Pretty awesome.
please feel free to reach out to her. But we're going to touch on a few things that Miss Ligammari's got going on. So we're going to turn it over to her and let her speak.
Hi,
Hello. Welcome.
thanks for
So-
having me.
Seeing that Tim went through all that, let me give a little bit of insight. You are a Niagara Falls native.
Yes,
Moved back here in 2015.
I did.
Okay. You are a owner or co-owner of All in Red.
I'm a co-owner. I'm the president, so I am 51-49 with my partner. Because women,
Female presidents.
that's it. We have to.
That's why it's ran right.
Right.
Sadly, you only have 256 Instagram followers and 50 Pinterest followers.
Were you
but
creeping my Pinterest?
I do all
I
that.
don't even look on there anymore.
Perfect,
You know
that's
why
it.
I go on there? I've been looking for tattoo ideas, so I look at it every 6 months.
It looked more like DIY stuff that you do at your house for
Totally
little.
DIY
Oh,
stuff.
do you do DIY stuff?
It looked like
do.
it. She's also, I noticed that you made a comment on your webpage that was very Tesla-ish.
Organically.
Well, yeah, you said something along the lines of you while running for city council, you don't intend on working for this point in time, that you're working towards things for the future.
Absolutely.
You know, so and that struck me as very
Well, I'm
know.
hoping to lay a foundation for long after, after I'm gone.
For your kid.
so.
Yeah.
How is everything going? Seeing that we are past the primaries and going into the thick of it.
It's really exciting and it's crazy busy. I don't think I've ever been this busy ever. And I really like to be busy. As much as I complain about being really busy, I must like it because I'm never in a lesser state. But this is a lot.
How's that campaign going with your bathroom tiling job?
Oh my!
That was a quick ass
So-
video. I've never seen Subway Tile done that damn quickly.
Tim's been following my bathroom renovation for the better part of what has it been, a year?
Oh, yeah.
Christ.
It was really
And
bad.
I was creeping her page.
It was.
He's looking at her in the bathroom, but I was creeping her Pinterest.
No, she's actually teaching how to do tiling.
I'm not teaching. I'm just trying to get it
She
done.
just
I watched her Speedy video.
Oh my God, I did like 2 more feet yesterday. So I get so burned out at the end of the day. I know I got to work on the bathroom because I'm never going to be able to take a shower again.
But quality, you have good quality work.
And
it appears.
it is the straightest tile you've ever seen because every tile is perfectly leveled. I go in there after each tile and I level it.
Oh, so you're OCD too.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And that's why I didn't have a contractor finish the bathroom because I'm picky and awful.
So this is what you do though, is for your, is it your income, your hobby?
No, it's definitely an income.
Yeah.
I don't generally work on other people's houses. I buy blighted houses and then I renovate them back to life again. And
You wait a
flipper?
second. Wait a second.
Sometimes.
Okay.
You buy blighted houses and
I do.
fix them up.
I do.
Well, you got a lifetime's worth
I
of
was
work
about to
ahead
say,
of you in
you
this
landed
city.
in the right place in
We
2015.
got you
huh?
covered
I
here.
did.
There's
Well, I was trying to figure out what. So I had moved back here from Florida, and I was like, I had a 2-year-old, and I was
Nope.
like, okay,
Pine Hills or Orlando?
Orlando.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that you found my.
Yeah.
Disney World.
Although I did spend a lot of time in Pine Hills. There's some amazing food in there. I don't know what you know about Orlando and Pine Hills.
I got a lot of family
but
live down there in Jacksonville. and
Listen,
whatnot.
the Cuban
Jacksonville.
food in Pine Hills, like you can't mess around with. So, but no, I got back here in 2015. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I had a 2-year-old. My husband was working, and I was like, okay, what do I want to do? I'm taking a look around, and I'm like, well, everything's broken, so pick one thing and fix it. So I started out as a property manager for my business partner. He owned several properties out in Buffalo. So my job was to fix things, collect rents, deal with tenant relations. And
Basically
then,
what I do right now.
Collecting rent.
Is that
you
what
would've-
you're doing there?
Basically for my landlord,
I didn't
except
know
for the
that.
collecting rent.
Collecting rent, you would have been out
Well,
of a job for 18
so-
months now.
No,
I was-
we went to a point where he started getting, he got me to do downstairs, pretty much renovated all downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
We started talking about doing the floor. I went down there to go do the floor after everything was dropped off, and there was other people doing the floor. After that, I got pissed off and told them, we're not working like this no more because I'm not wasting my time getting everything ready, and then this happens. I'm sorry.
Do you renovate the apartments?
Yeah.
So
I do all the flips and whatnot.
Right. So that was my favorite part of being the property manager, was that when people would leave, I would renovate the apartment, get it ready for the next person. So then I figured, my next logical step was to buy a broken house and renovate it.
Very good.
And I did. I started out in Buffalo. My first house was on Riverside, in Riverside in Buffalo on Briggs Avenue. And I wanted to be closer to home, so I bought a house in Niagara Falls.
I just assumed that you were sitting there watching like Flip House or Flip Bosses one day on damn TLC and was like, I'm gonna try that.
I have a trial.
Google this shit real quick.
I Googled a lot of shit, but it was
YouTube
trial by fire, really.
This
Because
is
once
one
it
thing-
lands, it's in your face. You got to
But
get
now
it.
you renovated you have two short-term rentals. You renovated both of those.
I did.
Have you had any complaints about those when people show up?
No, I mean, it depends on the guest experience, right? So,
But they don't complain, say the tiles are crooked or anything like that?
One more issue. I swear. Tompkins.
Well, I can say that the other day I had a tour group from one of Colin's homes, and they said it was lovely inside. They really enjoyed staying there.
I appreciate it. I worked really hard on that. That house had been burnt up in a fire when I bought it. So
you rescued a
there
house that
was
would have probably been demolished.
You pretty much
absolutely
just point out
nothing
every
there.
house in Niagara Falls except for like 6.
No, this one had nothing. There were no walls. There were like no
Complete
floors. Yeah, and that was my first like full renovation. So I learned how to do tile on that job. So I Googled it.
I mean, YouTube is a very people utilized DIYs on YouTube as much as they utilize popping your ass music videos. We would probably see a lot more skilled people.
That's what I'm saying. I need to know how to do tile, and I need to know in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then they just show you real quick, and they show you the right way. You can always find a great video of somebody doing it, free. I like Skillshare too. Skillshare is a great program that teaches you.
I've not learned that one yet.
You go on, it's kind of like classes, but it's being kind of like YouTube, but more structured and
I'll write that
Hey,
down.
geared toward.
I'm going to interrupt you for a minute. We got a comment on here from Mr. Ventry. We know Mr. Robert Ventry pretty well.
What's up, Robert?
His comment was, we never had a gun problem until New York State sent monitors in to monitor and change policies within the police department back in 2010. What's going on today has been going on for years here. Maybe if the city looks at these policies and which ones are working and which ones aren't. We had these issues long before bail reform. Also, the new discovery law is not helping. The city should bring back the RAC unit, which is a roving anti-crime unit.
Yeah.
But I believe under New York State policies, cities are not allowed to have any undercover police patrols.
They're not.
I could be wrong.
No more
about
stop and
that.
frisk. Now, when me and Robert were younger, because we're the same age, I remember going to school with Robert. And Robert will tell you, when we were kids, you always seen Jim Galley, Pat Stacks Jr., or Jim Galley Jr., Pat Stacks, John Galley, Ted Weed, riding around in this gray Nissan Maxima with tinted windows. You always seen them everywhere. You don't see that no more. You don't see foot patrols like you should. First of all, we have, with the inflated numbers that they give, 9 million people that come here as tourists. You should see a lot more police officers. And it's not just Niagara Falls Police. They need to get in with these other groups, Homeland Security, INS,
Alphabet groups.
and as many large transportation bridges. We got Lewis and Queenston's one of the largest
Lewis and Queenston and Peace Bridge are the two largest international
bridges. We should have some form of Homeland Security federal building here,
Yes.
at least working out of the police department. Because one thing that does happen is that our police department, our fire department get sent to the falls for stuff,
They do use our resources.
and we're not compensated for them
Correct.
resources.
No, we are not.
as well
So go
as,
sign that petition, because we need that surcharge for the state.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But I
But,
do know also back in 2010 when these policies were updated, I do know for a fact that there was an issue with the unions, the police unions, because it did go against the existing police policies, and some of those were changed. This was back under previous administration, and I know there was a perp charge following that. The police department did win because they were forced to go against some of their own policies, which actually were safety issues, things of that nature. And it's obvious. You can look at the numbers. I don't care who says that we don't have a crime problem or the numbers are going down. But you listen to a police scanner. You go around these streets at night.
I do every day.
And tell me that our numbers are going down.
Our
numbers have been climbing ever since they changed those policies.
I literally had a lady tell me the other day that I wouldn't understand because of where I live, and she lives on Fifth Street, and I'm like, lady, are you crazy? We're commenting we were commenting on the post where the kid got shot in my hallway.
I was going to say, you just had a kid get shot.
That's what I said. I said that's my hallway. That's my mailbox is 2 feet from the police officer. The shell is laying right in front of my mailbox. Okay. So people go in and they think because they see stupid shit like this, the tie and whatnot. Oh, he lives wherever, but
rich guy.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Let's get back to Colin's
yes.
tiling job and her renovations on the houses.
My straight tile.
So let's ask a serious question. What do you bring to the table?
I bring a small business perspective to the table. I bring a female perspective to the table.
Yeah, that doesn't help us 9 year old man. But go ahead. No, I'm just kidding. Let me stop before we're labeled as misogynistic.
Listen,
we're going to get us black.
There's a reason that we need more women at the table.
I fully agree. Just not Grandinetti.
Well,
come on now.
Not any woman at the table. So I bring a small business perspective. I bring, I feel much needed female perspective. I have a 8-year-old that goes to our public school here. I grew up here. I've lived all over Niagara Falls. I've seen it change. I've seen it, back in the 80s, and I see what it is today.
And also living in Orlando, you also have a perspective how tourist areas are ran properly.
Well, not only Orlando, but Vancouver, British Columbia. I lived there for 2 years.
Oh, that's
I also lived
Damn
in...
Canadians, man.
Yeah, we got
They're
infiltrated.
Mm-hmm. And John Candy and Alex Trebek.
Vancouver, yes.
Oh,
Go
I named
Sunshine
two ones
Coast.
that died. That's terrible of me.
It was so beautiful there.
I love
Justin Bieber.
I've been there.
You've been there? Yeah.
My oldest son's Canadian, yeah.
I lived in Massachusetts. I lived in the Berkshires, not Boston. So
Military?
that's...
Military?
No,
Okay.
gypsy.
Yes.
For a bit.
Your father's an artist.
Yes.
That's what, okay. I'm trying to think. I've seen her talk about
I
her
did
dad
all
as an
this in
artist.
my adult life.
Oh,
So
okay.
these were the
So
choices I made.
He's always been here. Has he
My
always been a
father's
teacher
always been here.
at NU?
No, my father never worked at NU. He worked at
You said he works at NU.
N Triple C
That's okay.
for 14 years, and he ran the art department.
That's what it was.
He's also a photographer. He's also a freelance artist, and now he's a musician. He's in the Niagara Falls Music Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, he lost his
why
eyesight,
don't
so
we
then he
have him
began to be a
here?
musician.
Like, she's political. We could have him here. This is a graffiti.
My dad's way more fun.
You know what? I
Well,
love
bring him in.
people like that. I love people that are very, very creative, and I think that a lot of people underrate the fact that we need a fair balance of left brain and right brain people. Very
Agreed.
creative and very, not saying that he's not educated because he's creative, but people that are on both sides of the spectrum that have that creative and that
Well, it
business
helps you. It
sense.
helps you think outside of the box when it comes to finding solutions to problems, and I think that's a lot of what we need now.
That is exactly
Most
what we
definitely.
need. So safe to say then you've got a pretty good handle on a tourism perspective.
From my industry, I feel like I have a good scope on that. I've never worked in, corporate tourism,
Mm-hmm.
but, organically here, Niagara Falls tourism, I
You know
feel
what
like
people
I
are
know a
coming
lot
here.
about. Right.
You know what people
We-
come here looking for, and don't you? You've got some sort of a website where you set up that you actually direct your
do.
tourist visitors that come into town to some of the local businesses here. You don't send them out to the state park, obviously, right?
Well, they're going to go to the state park no matter what.
Right.
They came here to see a waterfall. They didn't come here,
But during the
otherwise.
off season, you have tourists that come in too, right? You
I
have visitor
do.
guests during the off season
I
as
do.
well.
We have guests through the winter as well.
And
Speaking of tourism, let me get one plug in real quick, and this is
Yeah.
going to be something that goes to all that. They are looking for, and this is brought up on Tuesday with Sam, they're looking for candidates for the Tourism Advisory Board. Email your application to Ken.Tompkins, because he can't, be practical and make it make sense,
No.
at yahoo.com. And I will add that to the page later on.
Yeah, we need new people on boards as well. We need new ideas. We
You don't want
need
me on the
new-
boards.
Did you put your application in?
I'm in the television, or the
cable TV board.
Yeah,
Oh,
that,
okay. That works.
I'm trying to figure out where you're at, Rich. You kind of left me hanging there, buddy.
But you have a perspective. You know what the people are, the tourists that are coming in from out of town.
And
you know what kind of things
There's
they're
a
looking
lot of
for.
foundation that's laid before they get here, so they know what to expect. I know what they expect. I know how to curb their expectations somewhat. You know, especially now that our border is closed.
Yeah, that's been a big hit.
So it's not my website,
they're
but
trying to get out too.
the Niagara Falls Tourist Home Association, we came up with a way to put a QR code in all of our properties. So all of our Tourist Home Association properties are permitted and legal, and we put them,
Legal.
yes.
Oh my goodness.
So
Now, you are the PR person for that?
I was the vice president, now I just sit on the board.
Abaddon's is the vice president.
He is the
now.
president now.
Wow, you guys changed. I just looked at it earlier. I thought there was a lady that was a president and then him. And
Well,
then
we switch it up every 2 years. We vote in it.
Gotta put
you guys are
fresh
so
people in.
fair. So,
We do it by the book.
that true democracy.
So we came up with this way to, we call it the local business boost, right? So we have a QR code that goes on all the fridges. We lay it out for all the guests before they come in. And when they hit the QR code, it takes you to Michael's Restaurant. It takes you to Power City Eatery. Galen Bailey with Sightsee Rentals is on there for scooters. There's probably
Maloney's Subs?
10 or 11.
Maloney's
No, I
Deli?
haven't spoken to Maloney's, but we're happy to put them on there.
Now, those people that are
Especially-
on your list, are they people that have actually paid to get on that list,
We
or
have, yes, they paid $65 for the year.
advertising fee?
There's an yes. We have David Florio on there as well with his tour company.
Oh, we like Dave.
Yeah.
You know what?
guy.
I was trying to
Niagara
figure out what
Regional
was.
Tours.
I got to tell you that
I was trying to get the name, and he's like just looking at.
Niagara
It's
Regional
Niagara
Tours.
Regional Tours,
I actually had
and it's on the
my
QR code on
my
all the
sister
fridges.
came in from Ohio, and I set her up. Dave hooked me up with a tour for my sister and her boyfriend, and then a month later, her daughter came in. My niece came in, and I sent them on there, and they all gave very good reviews.
I've not heard any bad reviews. I
So-
mean, they're with Dave. That's probably the only bad thing.
They were with Peter.
Oh, they're with Peter.
Peter.
No, they're good then. You guys holler at Peter.
So it's the perfect way to have small businesses help our other small businesses, and
Like,
this is a grassroots putting it back together.
Kind of like a virtual cash mob, if you will. You
Exactly.
Send people there. and
Right. Hey,
it's-
I've got tourists. They need to eat. How about your restaurant? They need somewhere to go. How about
Do they get
Dave's
a
tour
discount?
company?
Just
Sometimes that's up to the restaurant. We don't force people to.
I would.
Well, it'd be nice if they did. But whenever I'd send someone somewhere, I say, hey, let them know that Colin sent you, that you're staying here, and
I would be
often
going to the
get
business
one.
and be like, I need my 36 cents for sending them people here.
All right, Sean.
I don't get anything for that.
We got to zip it, Sean. We're getting yelled at. Miss Pello says we need to let the lady talk, so let's let her talk.
Hi, Lori.
Listen, Lori,
I saw Lori yesterday.
we already got one feminist sitting next to me, and we don't need another one telling me how to run my
Hey,
house.
easy on it.
Well,
I love Lori. I love Lori. She does that to me
She's
all the time, so
amazing.
she expects it from me. And if I didn't do it, then she would ask me what was wrong with me.
all right, Colin.
But-
So you have you said you have 2 short-term rentals. You list
I
these
do.
on a listing site, or is it something you
I
promote
do.
yourself?
Nope, I do not promote them myself. I list them through Airbnb and VRBO.
And those are the ones that are comment
Those
driven,
are
right?
yes, they are.
Review driven.
They are review driven.
You
So
got
if
good reviews.
I have lots of good reviews.
Very good.
But we work really hard for those reviews. You actively have to work this business to make it successful. And if you don't, you'll be put out of business just by nature of having terrible reviews and nobody wanting to stay with you.
So needless to say, you keep up your properties well. You keep the grass cut
Every day. It means that you got to work the properties every day.
And you're one of those dirty Democrats too, right? You're running on the Democrat line. And
I have been
You
a
should have seen
Democrat.
the comment I liked earlier that she was just bringing up. I was going to say that, but
I have
No,
been a
but-
Democrat since I was 18.
poor Mike Pence. No, I'm just-
Listen, I step left on women's issues.
Yeah.
I am fiscally conservative. I step right on legal gun ownership. I'm more of a person than a party.
You're
very good.
a liberal conservative,
That's a good way to put it.
if there's such a thing.
Not a
Right. Well,
libertarian.
there is right now. We just,
Bocchio says he's
we
a,
just
he's
made
a,
it.
he's a conservative libertarian, whatever the hell that is.
Well, it's we'll say that's in a category all on its own.
They don't
Leave it
go
at that.
together. That's like just a stoner that has a 401k. We'll just
Okay,
leave it
so so obviously you know the makeup of the council. There's going to be 3 new members coming onto the council. What do you think? What do you think? How do you think you're going to do with that?
You know, it's not up to me. It's going to be up to voters. And I have made sure that I am hitting every neighborhood and every corner of this city to hear concerns that they have and to introduce myself to them. So if that's the algorithm, you know, I feel good about it. And win or lose, I feel good about that work. So
You plan on leaving if you don't win?
no, I'm here.
Hypothetical.
I mean, until further notice, no
Hypothetical,
plans.
you do win. Do you feel comfortable working with the other individuals that are running?
Absolutely. I feel like I could work with anybody. You know, there's always a middle ground. There's always common ground to find. You just got to find it.
Yes.
And keep looking for it. Don't stop looking. Some people,
too.
they just afraid to compromise, and they just put their nose to the ground and say, no, I'm not going to move on that,
Well,
and that's it.
It's not about you. It's about what is for the collective good of a city. It doesn't matter what I think, right? It matters, who does this hurt? Who does it affect? Who does it help, right? And that's
What's
how...
best for the majority.
Yes.
Exactly. And also best to go into the future.
Now, you said you're married, and we haven't seen much of your husband.
Well, technically, I'm not married.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you... I mean, is common law still a thing? I mean, it's been so long.
I got 6 kids, so it don't really matter. I ain't married none of their mamas.
Okay,
I'm
well,
a die unmarried.
We'll refer to him as your
I
significant
call
other.
him my husband, but that's, it's not...
That's the role he
technically
plays
correct.
as your husband, so we'll
Yes,
call
it's
him
been
your
about
husband.
15 and a half years.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
not
definitely.
my
He ain't going
boyfriend
anywhere.
anymore.
Yeah, it's
He ain't
definitely
going
common law, even
Right.
if there's no such thing.
He
Exactly.
obviously supports your political
He
ambitions.
does. He's been incredibly helpful. He's picked up, all the slack that I'm leaving at my house because I'm running around knocking on doors and showing up at events and making sure I'm doing this work.
Now, why are you doing all this?
I feel like it's necessary. I feel like we were just talking about, we need a new out-of-the-box perspective. We need that compromise. We need new eyes on a problem.
Well, they do say that, common sense isn't that common, but common sense isn't always the answer.
No. Common sense is a flower that doesn't grow in everybody's garden.
Is that what
That's what common sense is.
Or common sense is a curse
Sounds
because you got to
Buddhist
deal
to
with
me.
people that don't have it. And that goes back to reverting to the logical, the left side and the right side brain kind of person. And it's always good when you see a person that has both of them kind of people that are influences in their lives, in one person's life, because when you have that kind of that draw, that education, I guess, if you will, you're able to use that a lot. I mean, my twins are perfect examples of it. Alex is very logical, methodical, thought out, psychotic.
She said psychotic.
Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Yeah, I did.
It's your daughter. Terrible.
Jasmine is very, very active, creative. Not more spontaneous.
Yeah, it's a
And
perfect complement to
yeah.
each other.
definitely.
So tell me then. All right, let's. I'm gonna give you three things. You tell me
Oh, man,
what
this isn't
boy.
going to be.
what
killing
are your
Miriam and-
3 main issues you think and priorities that the administration, the city council should be focusing on. Tell me the top 3.
All top 3 have to do with our quality of life here. So that's what I'm hearing out in public. We need to focus on cleaning ourselves up, fixing what we have so that we are attractive to draw new revenue.
Or more tourism.
Well, and honestly, we need to declare that that's the direction we're going in, because we've been industry now for so long, and industry broke up with us.
A long time ago.
We've been waiting for industry to come back. It's not coming. We're left with, these brownfields and these blighted factories, along with our blighted homes of the people that used to work at the factories. So,
And the vacant properties that are being held hostage by out-of-town investors.
and
Oxy
well,
is
the
definitely
empty
about to be
land.
an absentee father.
Well, and that's it. So we need to start now holding accountable. I hate that we're losing 130 jobs. It's awful. We need those jobs. However, they're going. We can't stop them. So we need to hold them accountable for the cleanup of that space, or else how are we ever to reinvent that land into the next thing that we need to be?
Yeah.
It's sitting on a perfect spot. right?
Personally, I think that they would get off cheaper if they spent the money to maybe create a similar industry in the same space. even a startup, if they funded a startup and got some other.
I don't think the EPA would let you build on top of a brownfield spot unless you clean it up first. I believe that's against EPA.
That's what I mean, though. But if they did some kind of thing and said, "Hey, listen, we got this small company that does the exact same thing that we do, that creates the exact same, acidic chemicals, stuff like that."
Right.
What we're going to do is that we're going to take this fund, instead of wasting millions of dollars because we don't want to do it because it'll cut into our profit margin. We're going to take this $100,000 and give it to these people, and they're going to stay at the same company. You're probably going to be able to fill 80 jobs or whatever, but let's see if we can make this work with somebody different, because the problem really boiled down to the cost of transportation, the cost of the trains, the taxes in the city, and that's
The
just
workforce.
Yeah, I mean,
Lack of.
it boils down to a lot of, what do you think of the two-tier tax system?
We need to talk about all options and how we make this work for everybody. But I mean, regarding Oxy, they're sitting on our waterfront as well.
There.
So if we're to reinvent ourselves into a new kind of city, if we declare that we are now a tourism city and this is where our focus is going, we have to clean that up, and we need to start our anchor points away from the state park.
Yeah.
So a multi-use city is a safe city. So if you have anchor points that go from the state park, maybe out here to LaSalle, look at all these businesses up and down this street right here. They're all doing well. They deserve tourism dollars as well. So, and then we draw it out to Midtown and we draw it out to the north end, right? So we fill in between with our small businesses. I mean, that's the utopian vision, but it starts with making sure that we hold accountable the people, who have blighted our city and clean up the brownfields.
My mic here.
I lost you there, buddy.
Turned her off.
Your mic is, you breathe heavily, Tim, so
Sorry.
I'm trying to dampen it for you.
We need to.
He's
give
over there
people
sounding like
reason.
Darth Vader and shit in the microphone. And I was like, what is that breathing? He's like, I was like, oh no, it's too
But we
loud.
need to give this place a facelift so people actually want to
We
come
need
here.
curb appeal. I spoke with Frank Soda the other day, who is a wealth of knowledge.
That man is a savage.
Absolutely. And after I leave Frank Soda, I need a nap. Like,
Yeah.
my brain is.
We were literally just talking about trying to get him in here.
He's amazing. So Frank told me that there's only one neighborhood that is with a 1 mile away from a chemical waste site, and it's at 15th and Pine.
Yeah.
You can't get more than half a mile away. So they were doing research. They were trying to do a study regarding the chemical waste dump that Niagara Falls is, and the only neighborhood that is a half a mile away is at 15th and Pine. So there's nowhere else anywhere in the city that is a half a mile or more away.
And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people don't know that Love Canal is not the only place it was dumped
No,
here.
it's all over.
But also, a lot of people don't realize that a hydroelectric plant creates heavy water, which heavy water is what's used to activate the atom bomb.
Yes.
And that's why we did have a lot to do with was going on with the Manhattan Project here. There was a lot of stuff that was going on. So you're absolutely correct. We do need to figure out what's going on in these areas, get them cleaned up first. And as far as community cleanups go, that has to be a collaborative. Would you
Absolutely.
agree?
So your campaign, how's your campaign doing? You're getting a lot of good feedback. You say you knocked on a lot of doors.
Yeah. Everyone's been really nice, and I feel like it's going well. I don't have any point for comparison, but I feel good about it when I'm walking around. Everybody's been good. Everyone gives me what they feel are their most important issues, and they are all quality of life. I mean, it depends on where in the city you are. So just yesterday, I spent some time in LaSalle, and a lot of the complaints I was getting were about the motels on the boulevard, with parties and
The things they say the short-term
Nefarious.
rentals are getting.
it's similar language, but with the added, they were dumping shopping carts into Cayuga Creek. So
Did
you know,
you
Complete jackasses.
you were recently in a police car. You want to tell us about that? Are the back seats comfortable?
I was
did
in
they
the front
cuff you?
seat. Tim.
Oh,
I
I
was gonna
thought
say,
they
I
cuffed
hope
you.
you're talking about a ride along like Dante was talking about, because
I went first actually.
nice.
So yes, I was
They won't let me in the front seat.
and now they're not letting anybody do ride-alongs.
No,
so
it's starting to
after,
ramp up.
I can get a ride along if I really want one. No.
well, you can get in the back.
Exactly.
No, I was privileged enough to be able to do a shift with Gabe Gonzalez and on a Friday night.
Busy night.
It doesn't stop. So, you know, they have to go to violent crime no matter what. So you get a call for shots fired.
Yeah,
you get
they'll
a
pull
call
somebody off.
Right. Everyone has to respond to that because, you know, that's
Officer
but
safety.
all of the quality of life crimes, right? My car got broken into, you know, this guy's causing a ruckus out here. Those all go in the queue to get hit next and next, and there's always 8 calls in the queue.
Yeah.
You're always
Well, you
engaged.
always hear them on the scanner saying this call's been on hold for 10, 15, half hour, 45
Been holding
minutes.
for a while.
Yeah.
Right. And
Now,
Yeah,
how
they don't
many-
give it time.
How many people were out on patrol that night when you went on your ride along? Do you know?
so there were 7 cars.
7 cars.
yes.
7 cars to cover the entire city
Yes.
on a Friday night.
On a Friday night.
Friday
and
night,
that's,
27 cars for
those
7
are
cars
the,
for 26 square miles.
Those were the concessions that the police department made when they were asked to give concessions.
Well, now, I wonder if that's also their minimum, because unions
Absolutely.
have minimum quotas that they
So-
have to keep at.
They were supposed to, 9 cars is our normal, right? So they met them at 7 cars.
And you had one car that broke down. I shouldn't say that because I'm a mechanic for the city, but
I thought I was gonna have to push it down Hyde Park Boulevard.
Listen, you didn't even have to say that. I think everybody's seen them pictures on the action page of 9 cars sitting in the damn.
you know we did get 3 new police cruisers. They were the Dodge
Niagara.
Chargers. They did just get approval for 3 new police cruisers. So I know the fleet is aging, and then we've got you know the issues of you know some of the inexperienced officers that they've had their share of accidents and things like that.
Fair
But
without.
you know, so what people need to understand is that just getting more officers isn't going to solve the problem. We're also going
No.
to have to get equipment for these guys as well. And we have to get standard equipment because it's my understanding. I heard a rumor that there was one police car with only 250 mile an hour.
That's crazy.
That would make it difficult if you had to get into any kind of a pursuit or. You know.
How do you feel about? Okay, we got the whole thing where everybody's going at the mayor's office saying, you know, this needs to be fixed. Do you
Right.
believe that the solution for the problems that we see is much more than just City Hall?
Absolutely. You know, it's too much government never fixes everything, right? So, you know, a lot of these solutions have to come from the community level and they have to come from the bottom up and not the top down.
Yeah.
Now, during your ride along, did you see the community actually responding to the officer? I mean, were
You
they
know,
just.
Absolutely. So, good or bad, right? So, Officer Gonzalez is pretty well known in the community. They would say hello. He would pull over and talk to somebody. I mean, he's well known. But you know, you do have random people that just aren't happy to see a police officer. So
Oh, because of the emotions and situations.
Maybe they're not happy to see a candidate.
maybe it was me that they weren't happy to see.
Maybe he was short. I have a thing against midgets, so maybe he was little.
Little
How could you
people.
possibly
Little
say that?
people.
Because my mom is a midget.
Hey, come
I'm
on.
allowed to.
Shortcake is a little person.
Who?
I feel like
Shortcake.
this
Who's
song-
that?
I'll tell you off the air.
I'm afraid because now we were just talking about my mom, and if you're calling my mom shortcake,
No.
I'm
I feel like I was
No.
just
gonna be upset because I'm not calling you dad.
Li-
inappropriate.
no, little people, come on.
Oh, you
Don't
should
get us
have
kicked off.
seen how we did Janelle.
She's very
Okay,
short.
Janelle, my car would suit Janelle very well.
Very
I
well.
showed her that at the Sal Megley at the car show. I just purposely drove by and said,
That
"Look,
little ass
I
car
have a
would look
Janelle
like-
sized car."
Would look like one
It's
of
an
them
Oompa
22
Loompa car.
That would look like a 22-foot Fleetwood on Janelle.
Okay, so Miss Pello would like to know more about your ride along. So tell us what sort of calls did you guys handle?
So it was always so when you have a candidate on a ride along, you are the 8th car, right? Because
Yes.
they're not going to put you in
Last to
imminent
respond.
danger, but you definitely respond, right? So there were several people with gun calls, right, that had to be responded to. It turned into a neighborhood fight. You know, this neighbor was angry at this group of neighbors, and that turned into a situation. We got a call out to the casino for a domestic.
Oh, the
Am
casino
I
uses
allowed
our
to say this
services.
stuff?
Yeah, I actually heard that call.
The
Am I
casino
allowed to
uses.
say this?
It's all in public record.
Is it?
Yeah,
Everybody
it's
that
already
has a
it's
scanner
already
hears the
blogged.
calls.
Trust me, Rob and Shamar is already covered.
And we won't tell anyone.
Police calls are
Never.
on the thing. You're not
So-
giving us
Yeah,
sensitive
you're not giving us
information, so you're
names
good.
and-
Yep, the casino, we got called out to the casino for domestic incidents.
Hmm.
We were called for a car chase
Ooh.
that was happening. And what was interesting was the communication between, because the state police got involved in the car chase. It was out closer to the state park and in the city, and trying to communicate between the two was also very difficult for them without the right equipment.
Oh, they don't share the same radio frequencies.
No, they don't, and also they don't really share. I don't think they share DMV information and stuff like that.
I don't think run through the regular check systems.
Yeah, but I think that they have it set up so the feds can't check it. So I don't think it's connected like that. I think they have to call in.
Yes.
So the ride along was nonstop. There were always 8 calls in the queue, and there was just never even a moment to breathe.
Did you get to tase anybody?
I did not tase anybody.
Pepper spray?
Pepper spray?
No, I did not pepper spray anybody.
Listen,
I
I got
also
some
was
pepper
not
spray I'll
allowed
give
to
you.
man the dog.
Melissa's got some pepper spray at the house. We'll just give it. You just randomly run down Pine and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
All right, so your
watch.
your campaign, you got fundraisers coming up? You got events coming up?
no, I did not have anything up and coming. I did recently have a fundraiser. If anyone is feeling like they would like to donate.
Power City Eatery.
Power City
I think
Eatery.
I was there.
It was a good night. I mean,
It was.
A lot of great people showed up. I really appreciated it. This is a grassroots campaign, so all of the funds that I'm receiving are coming from friends and family. So no major donors.
Got any endorsements or anything?
I do. I was
Campaign
endorsed by the Working Families Party, but I put that one out first, as well as the CWA, the Communication
Communication workers.
the UAW,
Ooh, big boys.
and the Women's Tap Fund.
Women's Tap Fund. Women's Tap Fund. Tell us about the Women's Tap Fund.
The Women's Tap Fund is a political action committee who is nonpartisan, and you have to be a female to apply.
Are there any women here today?
I could be a female.
I identify
I'm gonna
as
apply.
one, so I should go. I didn't know about that one, or I would have definitely hit that one.
Yes, and they've all been, very, especially with things like advice. So I find that the Working Families Party has a lot of resources for green initiatives. So when I'm learning about brownfields and what can be done and different funding, they've been really helpful putting me in contact with people that have that information.
Working Families. That's Tom Rowley, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The house that I live in, I bought from him.
That's why.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
That's why I love it when Tim's here.
I know
Knows
Tom
stuff.
personally.
He pulls these things
Good
out
guy.
of his pocket.
Yeah.
But all right, we're getting up against the clock here, so we're gonna have to definitely bring Colin back in if she's
Yes.
willing to come back
This
in.
was
But
really
And
fun.
I sincerely apologize for that long-winded ass mayor update.
I hadn't heard it, so I think it was important. I
Well,
wanted to hear it.
I try to send it in every Friday before we come here, and we're just gonna have to start cutting the clips down, pulling out
Well,
of there what we want.
I wanted it to go all the way through because obviously when you get elected to council, you see how he just threw the city council under the bus.
Under the bus, yes.
That seems to be a standard thing. Is it doesn't care who he throws under the bus.
We really.
And I want you to understand that that's what you're going to be with.
Well, we really, trying to run a city, you have to work together to run a city. It's not about any one person. It's about everybody.
Everybody.
So anyone that's trying to grab either too much power or too much
Trying to be the
sway or
savior.
too much anything, it's not what we need. We've had that for a long time. We have to.
It's going to take a team.
Most definitely.
And it's
And
not
a community.
it's not about you. It's
Yes.
about everybody.
Well, there was two things that I didn't get to go over. You are a part-time gymnastics coach in NT. I'm sure you absolutely love that.
I actually do. I love it
Yeah,
so much.
I want to get Jackson into it.
I teach the girls gymnastics team out at Niagara Gymnastics on the Boulevard, or Gleason's Gymnastics, as it's known now. And I haven't worked there all summer because I've been campaigning and I miss my kids terribly. But I follow them on Instagram and I see all their new skills. And
Screw that campaign. The kids are more important.
they're so I can't wait for the
Balance.
campaign part to be over so I can go back to working with my kids because I miss them.
And a long-term volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes, I started working at the Boys and Girls Club. No, scratch that. I started going to the Boys and Girls Club when I was 8, and that's where I started doing gymnastics. And then it was my first job at 15, and I didn't stop working there, I think, until 2019 or close to 2020.
And I believe I saw a video about a skate park as well.
That's my son. He's learning how to utilize the big park instead of the garage ramp.
Yeah, and it's good to see
really
that
well.
it's starting to pick up. I seen Lynn and Pat were out there. That's awesome. They're always wonderfully.
So I invited them to have skate camp with us that day,
Nice.
and they both showed up. And Pat showed up with his skateboard, and he's actually quite good.
So what you're saying is that you have no problem entertaining your son with the activities that are available currently within the city.
This is true. Listen, I love that skate park.
Very good. And we also have an ice rink.
Ice rink.
I haven't utilized that yet.
We got Hills Hockey Development that'll teach that boy how to skate, get
He
him
would
out there on
love
the
that.
ice.
That's what he kept posting about.
He would
the
really like
Hills.
that. Give me more information on that because
Hockey's
I'm
starting
sure
to pick up now.
Yeah,
right
we're
after
gonna-
Labor Day.
hockey's so expensive, isn't it?
No.
I'm gonna have to put that on the page, Timbo.
Yes, sir.
You
We
have to-
are.
you have to share
We're
it
gonna
there.
put her. We're gonna put her campaign card on here too, so that way people want to get a hold of her.
Yeah,
Please do.
I have the one that I turned into a GIF where she's singing a song. And
You used a different head
Did I?
for that.
No, was
I
your-
don't know what
Actually,
picture you stole my head from.
No. I actually used that. You posted that, and I put a song on there.
Definitely not.
Your creativity runneth over.
Sometimes it's not my creativity; it's whoever made Apple. And
All right. So what do we got going on this weekend? We obviously got a long weekend. We've got Labor Day
we
on Monday.
absolutely do. First of all,
Darth Vader.
All right.
join the dark side, Luke.
All right.
If we could, would we pull up Mr. Miles's page?
Yes, sir.
Our good friend
It's next Saturday.
is Mr. Dante Miles. He is hosting a chicken and waffles, breakfast at High Park Cafe. That is 311 High Park Boulevard.
Yes.
It is $25, and it includes the option of bottomless mimosas.
But no, that is a week from tomorrow. That is on the 11th.
Yes, it's the
September
11th.
11th.
That's not this week.
And I inboxed him that when he posted that. I said, why would you do that? Do you know how many people are like, oh, 9/11, he doesn't give it. Listen, that's the day Dante picked.
It's his
Sometimes
choice.
it
Still a
comes
wonderful
down to
day.
the vendor.
It's a good way to
And-
start the day.
Anybody that has a problem with Dante picking that day, you can come see me.
It's a good way to start the day.
It shows that America went back to normal despite the fact people tried to change it.
Yes, and well, people are gonna love it, especially what's going on right now. I already know how it's gonna happen for them.
All right. I know this Saturday my plan is I'm going to Alcott. They got the big car show this weekend.
Yeah, can you
gonna go-
pop up the next flyer for next week?
Clean up the little beast, and I might put
car
that
show?
in another car show because I
Car
do
show
have,
or touch a truck?
The touch truck.
I do have one award from the little beast this year.
Yeah, that's
it's out
a-
here in the front window.
That is in the window, and that is absolutely adorable. Now, me being me, because I'm not that bright most times, Tim had already scheduled us, so I have to get with Mr. Laurie and reschedule with him. Next week, we will be coming from the Frontier Fire Department for the
Touch a truck and
First Responders
First
and
Responders
Military Appreciation Day. Put on by Western New York Hot Rods and Classic Cars and Steve Barnes.
That was originally scheduled at the Summit
Sun Park Mall,
but
and-
they moved it over there.
That is something that I want to ask him about. Maybe I shouldn't as far as that goes, but I do want to ask him about the Speedway ideal that I had.
Yeah.
If we can put up the NCC SBDC one
The Entrepreneur or the series?
series.
SBD,
sir.
Silent but Deadly?
This is a series that I came across, and this is for entrepreneurs, and it's free classes. There's another one where you get a certificate after you complete all 10 classes. I'm going to put all this stuff up on the page. I really, really think this would be a good program for anybody watching. Share it, whatever. Anybody that you know that's an entrepreneur that wants to go in and take these accredited classes. Not accredited. They get a they get a certificate afterwards for that. And the last thing that we're going to touch on,
Tuesday. Big Show Tuesday. Community
yes,
accountability.
community accountability. That's not the one thing that I wanted to touch on.
Sam and Dave, they got a good one coming on.
I know they got Angelo, and I messaged him
You
3
were
weeks
supposed
ago.
to get him.
Listen, little short, bald judge. Next Tuesday night with Sam and Dave on your community accountability, they have New York State Assemblyman and Angelo Morinello.
Yes.
I can't even get
He
his
will be
name out.
there, and
I'm so
they'll-
bad with this right now. I don't know why.
Do they have capability to take Collins? I don't know.
Yeah,
Will
they
you-
do.
Will you guys be able to
Dave
take
and
Collins
Sam
next
got
week?
Collins?
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys got capability
Just so
to
y'all
take
know, we
Collins?
got Dave stalking the
So we
studio.
can have them,
So, yes, they
people
will
have people have questions for
You're good.
for
You're
Assemblyman Morinello, you'll be able to call in on Tuesday night on Sam and Dave's show. They'll be
Dave,
having him on here.
over
as well.
here and talk.
good. Yeah, come on over around the mic and say hello, Dave. I mean, Peter's not going nowhere. We got Peter hostage.
Hello.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
If I try to do that work at home, did you turn me down?
No, I can hear you clearly.
If I try to do that work at home, I'll end up watching TV. So
You look like a TV head. I bet you binge watch like The Walking Dead.
it's been busy.
Okay,
I
all right,
love
we're
that
up
show.
against the clock here,
I
fellas.
was going to
So
say, you got
Okay.
let's give Colin anything last words you want to say before we.
But
throw
didn't
out
you
of
have
here?
something there that you were ending with?
Yeah, I actually wanted to see something real quick. If you would post
Yeah.
up that apparel picture real quick,
Yes, sir. Which one?
any one of them.
Yep. Hang in there.
Hey, Dante. Dante just joined in.
What's
What
going
up,
on,
fam?
brother?
I like that guy.
Now, this is one thing that I want to ask real quick. This is just one of the designs that I came up with, but here's the thing about it. What I am looking for is somebody that can produce this stuff, put their price on it, and then I could put a smaller, percentage. That way it kicks back here to us.
Got a guy.
Why didn't you tell me before I did all
got a
this?
guy.
Now we're wasting Colin's time.
Well, I feel like I might also have a guy, so
Christ almighty. I'm the only one that doesn't have a guy. Final thought, Colin.
thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate being here, and yeah.
Get out and vote November 2nd.
It wasn't that bad. You came in and said you were nervous.
I'm always nervous. I'm nervous every day. This is totally out of the box for me, and I'm trying to enjoy it, but it's weird.
You
It's
could have
weird
knocked
doing
on our
stuff.
door.
Well, I'm going
Definitely.
to actually.
Just so people know, the deadline to register to vote in this general election in November is October 4th. So if you're not registered to vote,
why it's here.
we're going to make sure that these candidates are coming around with voter registration cards so they can get you signed up to vote. But obviously, general election is November 2nd. We need to get people out. Make sure you get out and vote, no matter who you vote for. You
Got a
need to
whole
get
2
out.
weeks of early voting too, so there's
Yes.
really no excuse anymore for people not to vote.
Early voting starts on my birthday, which is October 23rd. So that would be.
It's a national
I would
holiday.
appreciate that.
It is now a national holiday.
I would appreciate your votes on
We
my
gotta write all
birthday.
this down.
And if you want to contact Colin, you're going to have some yard signs ready to be put out.
I don't like to waste money. I think yard signs are a terrible waste of
too.
money. I am going to get some. I'm not going to buy thousands. But if you would like a yard sign and you would like to display one in your yard, I would appreciate you very much. Please contact me and I will make sure I drop it off to you probably in the next week or so, week to 2 weeks.
Or she'll give you a can of spray paint. You can just paint over someone else's sign.
That's what I
Yep.
think would be a better use of yard signs. You just
I-
spray paint over it and you write the next person that's looking for a
I
sign.
still
got
got
one last-
Dante's from his first campaign or his first
I
one.
got one last question for you, and then I'm going to leave you be.
Okay.
Who's running your campaign?
I'm running my campaign, as well as Dana Floriano, a very good friend of mine who has been super helpful, but she lives in Hamburg, so she helps keep all the finances tight and in order. And
There's a
she's
residency
also-
clause there.
Not for running a campaign.
I'm just-
So she's been very helpful making sure that our finances are tight. She's helping me with reminding me of different things that I should be doing, and
Functions to attend and-
I appreciate her
Awesome.
so much.
Okay.
Awesome sauce.
All right. Well,
Timbo?
you're going to have to let us know if you have any other campaign things coming up so that we can get those out there for you.
Yeah,
will,
we'll
thank
post
you.
everything because I follow her page. I follow
Now you follow my Pinterest.
everything everybody puts out.
Stalker.
I even though I don't like him, I still put out. I still follow Abadanza's stuff just to see what he has to say.
James is a good person. He's a very good person and a good candidate.
I'm sure he is to people that, yeah.
Okay.
We will leave it there.
My last thing is this weekend, I hope everybody has a good, safe holiday weekend. It looks like we're going to have a little cooler weather, so get out, get your yards cleaned up, get ready for the snow, which will be here in a few short weeks, unfortunately. Fortunately for me, because I like the snow better than this hot stuff. That guys don't like the heat.
I want a damn blizzard.
But we do have a couple of things coming up. Like I said, car show this weekend. I know Youngstown Field Days are going on Monday, I believe it is. And you may catch me over there in a parade representing the Niagara Orleans Labor Council. But they do have field days going on. And we also, Peach Festival this weekend?
Peach Festival is
Oh,
next
that's
week.
the 18th, isn't it? But we do have a couple of girls from Niagara Falls that are actually in
Running for Peach Queen.
Running for the Peach Queen. So we're definitely need to make sure we stay on top of that and keep everything going. We do have on September 8th, Mr. Abedanza has announced that he's got a fundraiser going. We're going to try and see if we can get him in here before then and give him some airtime, let him talk. But next
I would
week,
do that. Even though I'm an ass, I would still do that just because.
Yeah, we don't push anybody
No,
away.
I
But
don't
next
do
Friday, we will be doing live from Liberty Drive from the Touch a Truck and the first responders and the tribute thing for Mr. Barnes and the car club there. So please make sure if you guys have any questions or anything, you can definitely shoot us an email. We do still have the contest going for our $50 gift certificate.
And that is triggered by the 500th like. We set it up originally to be if you were the 500th like, you would get it. The way we figured it,
the way we've changed it, it's been amended.
The 500 like will trigger the random drawing of it. You know, we're going to put everybody's name.
Put names in there for other people that liked.
That's
and
smart.
then we'll have somebody pull it out. Nobody that's from here. We want it to be completely, fair.
Maybe we'll have Jackson do it. We should have Jackson pull
I'm
it
not
out.
letting Jackson.
We'll get cookie on it.
Yeah, it'd be all over the place.
That'd be
Little
all right,
sprinkles on it. And
But we need to send good wishes to Miss Chantel from Maloney's Deli because she actually did just have surgery and hope she's feeling better. My offer still stands. If you need to get away or if you need a babysitter, give me a call. Get you some rest.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that leaves me to talk then, huh? Well, everybody, we appreciate you for joining us for another Friday night on Niagara Graffiti. Put the goddamn guns down. Stop it. I'm going to leave you with this quote. And this is the exact reason why I'm leaving you with this quote. A wise man makes his own decision. A fool follows public opinion. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for joining us.